You know, something that I always hated about modern gaming companies is the lack of excitement in their advertising. Sure, announcements like the new Smash Bros. Characters or the Final Fantasy VII Remake still garner a lot of attention online, but video game ads just don't nearly have the same charm that they did back in the 90s. So I decided to go back and watch some to see what I was missing, and I gotta say, it was absolutely beautiful. Some of my favorites that I found definitely had to be the Final Fantasy III ad, with the Moogle interviewing all of the monsters to see who would make it in the game. The original Smash 64 ad was really great too, with DK, Mario, Pikachu, and Yoshi all getting in bodysuits and beating each other up in a field. That one I liked. As well as the Star Fox 64 ad that had a Sega and Sony employee interrogating a Nintendo employee over Rumble Packs and Star Fox 64. I think that one was timeless, and that one was probably one of my favorites. But on my journey of old 90s video game commercials eventually led me to one mascot in particular that is truly legendary. A man so intense, so hype, and so memorable that you'd have to be a fucking monster to not at least look at the games he was advertising. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Segata Sanshiro. So Segata Sanshiro was a character created by Sega to advertise for the Sega Saturn in Japan between 1997 and 1998. He's supposed to be a parody of Sugata Sanshiro, a judo fighter from the film Sanshiro Sugata. Keeping true to the inspiration, Segata was portrayed as a martial artist who beat the ever-loving fuck out of people who didn't play a Sega Saturn. And needless to say, I love each and every minute he's on screen. Anyways, I think it's time for me to go ahead and show you guys just what the hell I'm talking about. So there are 22 of these glorious ads, all of which are vastly entertaining. In the interest of time, however, I'll just go over some of my favorites. So let's start off with the first commercial, shall we? So this ad starts off pretty normal, with a few unsuspecting kids walking to a baseball field. That is, until...
Segata Sanshiro! Segata Sanshiro! Segata Sanshiro!
God damn! If you told me this was a Sonic R ad, you bet your ass I wouldn't believe you. I love how Segata punishes kids for having a regular social life too. God forbid they don't play a Sega Saturn. Next ad. Now this is quite possibly one of the best Christmas ads ever, so I'll just let it play out for you.
Santa-san, 来るかな? 来るかな? あ、サンタさん! わーい! サンタさん、ラジコンちょうだい! 私ぬいぐるみ! ちょうだいちょうだい! うわー!
セガサタンシロ!
セガタ三四郎からのプレゼント、三四郎ディスクもついている。
セガサタン!
Nothing I say will be funnier than the ad itself. Next one.
もしも誰かを好きになったら銀河に胸をこぎ出すでしょう。もしも誰かを好きになったら星にもワルツ
また会えたね。
踊らせましょう。
待望の第2弾ドラマチックアドベンチャー桜大戦2。
セガサタン!
Well, ain't that some shit. This ad clearly implies that Segata is dating Sakura here, which means he made his waifu real and is dating her. He's been fulfilling his anime fantasies decades before weebs on the internet could. What an absolute legend. Next ad. Now this ad is specifically one I wanted to include since it's an ad that genuinely made me want to play the game it was advertising. The beginning shot with Segata filleting a fish is captivating as it cuts to the meat of the ad itself. It sets a cool premise too. A virus is spreading in an underwater facility in a Resident Evil style horror game. All of this with a super suspenseful song from the game in the background makes for a damn good ad. Alright. Final one. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. This one made me real sad. For context, this was the final ad of the original 22. It starts off with, I guess, the CEO of Sega announcing the Dreamcast as this tech support looking asshole decides to launch a missile to Sega headquarters. I'll just let the rest play out.
Segata Sanshiro は君たちの心に。真剣遊戯。セガサターン。
Wow. Just wow. What a way to go out. This is enough to make a grown man cry. When I first saw this, I was in shock of how they could let this happen to an icon, a legend. You'll live on in our hearts, Segata, for all of eternity. Well, I've never heard of it before, but it seems that God himself was willing to provide me an opportunity to actually play as Segata in his very own game, Segata Sanshiro Shinken Yuugi. Unfortunately, I can't read Japanese, so I had to find footage of this game elsewhere. This isn't a review of the game, so I'll sum it up like this. This is essentially a collection of dull mini-games all packed into one. Think WarioWare, except it's dog shit. Your reward for completing each game is actually getting to watch Segata Sanshiro advertisements on your Saturn. While this is both cool and lame, if you beat the game, you get this kick-ass music video with Segata Sanshiro's theme song blaring to the ads, with subtitles too. Words cannot describe how awesome this is, and I'm really happy that they actually provided an English translation in this game. It's super cool. Unfortunately, after his appearance in Shinken Yuugi, Segata wasn't seen in another commercial for Sega, which is a serious tragedy considering how well beloved he was in Japan. He did, however, appear in a handful of other games as a cameo appearance, so let's roll through his further appearances, shall we? To start off, he appears in the Dreamcast title Rent a Hero No. 1, where he appears as the tutorial portion of the game. I've never played or watched this game at all, so I have no idea if it's good or not, but hey, at least it's got Segata in it, right? He also appeared in a one-off commercial in 1999 promoting the Sega Dreamcast on Fuji TV, but unfortunately I couldn't find any remaining video of it online. Maybe I just didn't look hard enough for it, but man, I'd really love to find it. If any of you can point me in the direction of this commercial, I'd really fucking love it, because it sounds like some hyper-autistic Sega fan type of stuff, and that's kind of the stuff I'm into, so hit me up if you know. His next appearance came as a super brief cameo in Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing Transformed, where on the Race of Ages stage, if you finish lap 1 in first place, you can see a man in a judo outfit with a Sega Saturn strapped to his back, steering a rocket away from the track, proving that the shooting star in the final commercial for Segata wasn't a star, but in fact Segata re-entering orbit. God damn, I love this character. He also made a playable appearance in the 3DS game Project X Zone 2. Or is it Project Cross Zone 2? I don't know, it looks like weeb shit. Anyways, he has his own level in this game where you can fight him and recruit him. Oh, and once Sakura rejoins your party in that game, she instantly recognizes Segata and just flirts with him for like a solid 3 minutes. Segata is dating his waifu in real life. That is how much of a god this man is. Oh, and if you thought I was done talking about the Archie Sonic comics last video, you are dead wrong, because that legendary creative staff got Segata into the comics too. In issue 269 of Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic and friends are competing in a worldwide tournament in an attempt to win a Chaos Emerald. This whole arc is based off the video game Sonic the Fighters, which is an arcade game that came out in the early 90s. It's actually pretty good, but I'll have to talk about that one a later day. And of course, as one of Sonic's opponents in this arc, none other than Segata Sanshiro himself comes out to fight Sonic the Hedgehog. He unfortunately loses, but hey, I mean, he appeared in one of my favorite comics of all time, so much respect. Again, these dudes who work on the comics are fucking legends, dude. Think of everything that could possibly be cool and include it. In his final appearance to this date, Segata's actor returned as Segata in 2013 at a live concert thrown by Sega, and spoke to the crowd with Sega advertising producer Koji Ando about the making of the Segata Sanshiro commercials, which was a super cool thing of him to do. Now, while that's all the appearances of the character up to date, I've purposely been avoiding the Segata's actor's name this video, and I did that for a very special reason. Segata's actor was a man by the name of Hiroshi Fujioka, who you might know as the original Kamen Rider. I bring his name up now because it leads to a cool revelation here in a second, so I'm going to completely change the subject briefly. Earlier this year, Sega of Japan began their 60th anniversary advertising commercials online. One of them featured a character by the name of Sega Shiro. Y'all see where this is going, right? In the commercial, he goes around his high school saying Sega Dayo loudly, and I don't know what that means at all. But hey, is that a judo gi he draped over? Holy fuck, I think it is. And here, folks, is the grand catch. Sega Shiro is played by Maito Fujioka, the son of Hiroshi Fujioka. Now, ain't that some shit, man? When I first heard of this, I flipped the fuck out, man, because I love that little bit of continuity, and I really like how the son of Segata Sanshiro is actually playing a brand new Sega promotional character. The judo gi is a great nod to Segata as well, and I think having it draped over his son is really, really cool. Anyways, folks, that's all I've really got to say. I hope you enjoyed these commercials as much as I did. I definitely got some kicks out of this. And if you have the time of day, check out my other videos and see if you like them. I guess quarantine is even making me productive with this dead channel. Anyways, folks, that's all I've got to say. I promise I have more cool shit coming down the pipeline. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Stay safe, guys. See ya.
魂込めた一人の男が今日も行く真面目に遊ばぬ奴らには体で覚えさせるぞセガタ三四郎セガタ三四郎セガサタン四郎カラオケナンパにクラブ他にすることあるだろうが触れなきゃ遊べぬ奴らには心に問いかけるぞセガタ三四郎セガタ三四郎セガサタン四郎若者よ真剣に取り組んでいるものがあるか
命がけで打ち込んでいるものがあるか。セガサターンしろ。指が折れるまで、指が折れるまで。
刹那の快楽追い続けても虚しい余生が残るだけ。とことん極める奴らには体に叩き込むぞ。